People today are highly aware of the importance of good human relations. In fact, many colleges and universities now offer courses in this field. One point stressed in these studies is that success in your work as well as your social life depends greatly on the impression you make on others. This popular man has learned the value of making a good impression. Teachers and classmates can't help liking this fellow with the winning smile. Friendliness and dependability seem to be a part of this man's personality. His smile is a real business asset. Here's a young lady who likes people, and people just naturally like her. Good human relations come easily to this girl with the beautiful smile. A smile that achieved its full beauty because she gave her teeth proper care. Good dental habits that protect both her appearance and her health by minimizing a disease dentists call dental caries. Tooth decay, the most prevalent disease in the United States today. Why is tooth decay so widespread? An understanding of tooth structure helps to show us. This is a cross-section of a tooth. Surrounding the crown of the tooth is a thin outer defense layer of extremely hard material called enamel. Forming the body of the tooth is an ivory-like material called dentin, softer than the enamel. In the center of the tooth is the soft pulp, which contains the nerves and blood vessels. Inside the gums, the dentin is surrounded by a layer called cementum. The health of your teeth and the beauty of your smile depend largely on maintaining that thin wall of defense, the hard enamel, against attack by tooth decay. For example, when you eat certain foods, decay acids are produced in the mouth, which then attack the tooth enamel. If their attack continues unchecked, the acids eventually break through weak spots in the enamel and expose the softer, more vulnerable dentin to bacterial action which, if allowed to go too far, will infect the pulp, form an abscess, and possibly enter the bloodstream. How serious is tooth decay? This is what one authority says.
According to conservative estimates, there are more than 700 million unfilled cavities in the United States today. And we are faced with an astonishing 140 million new cavities every year. These cavities represent the nation's most prevalent disease, a major public health problem affecting nearly every one of us. What can be done to solve this problem? Well, to begin with, we know that all of us must eat the proper foods. Give our teeth good daily care. And visit our dentists regularly. In addition, we should take advantage of the new weapons being brought into the fight against tooth decay. You might not be aware of the great strides dental scientists have made in providing new ways to prevent tooth decay, such as the use of fluorides, which actually strengthen tooth enamel against decay acids. The use of fluorides is one of today's most exciting chapters in the story of the search for good dental health.
Today, more than 38 million people benefit from fluoridated community water supplies. A young child who drinks fluoridated water throughout the time his permanent teeth are forming inside the jawbone benefits from a reduction in decay of about 65%. To see how this magic mineral strengthens tooth enamel, let's trace the development of a tooth inside the jawbone. This is a tooth bud from which the tooth actually grows. The thin gray line you see represents the enamel in its soft formative stage, surrounded by blood vessels. Watch how it thickens and takes shape in the jawbone, together with other parts of the tooth. While the enamel is in the soft formative stage, it is fed essential enamel-building elements by the surrounding blood supply. These elements include calcium, phosphorus, and, in areas where the water is fluoridated, desirable amounts of fluoride. As the tooth development continues, all of the enamel forms and hardens. Now, the blood supply to the enamel is cut off, and the fluoride can't get in, except at the outer enamel surface. Soon afterwards, the tooth begins to push through the gums. The dentin is still growing, and the roots and pulp canal are beginning to form, but the enamel is complete, and when erupted, cannot get any more fluoride from the blood. That's why people who begin drinking fluoridated water only after their permanent teeth have erupted do not get the kind of protection given young children. Looking for a way to give this protection to erupted teeth, dental scientists decided to try topical application, painting fluoride directly on the tooth enamel that hadn't received enough fluoride while in the gums. In their initial experiments, the scientists found that this method reduced tooth decay by about 40%. And then, by using a special form of fluoride called stannous fluoride, they eventually were able to cut decay even more.
The development of fluoride protection against decay by the dental profession represents a major step forward. But two facts must be remembered. First, although fluorides will substantially reduce tooth decay, they do not prevent it entirely. Second, tooth decay is just one of many dental diseases that must be constantly guarded against.
That's why it's essential for you to see your dentist regularly. He can nip your dental problems in the bud. Your dentist can locate cavities when they are small and stop the disease in time. If you wait until a toothache warns you of trouble, it may be too late to save the tooth. Regular visits also help you avoid dental disease by giving your dentist the opportunity to clean your teeth. Especially the accumulation of hard tartar your toothbrush can't remove, which can lead to periodontal or gum disease. Since gum disease is a major cause of lost teeth and mouth discomfort, your dentist inspects the condition of your gums carefully at each visit. He also checks the way your teeth come together. Good occlusion, as your dentist calls it, provides more even distribution of pressure on your teeth while chewing. A tooth that is struck constantly at an oblique angle is put under pressure and may become loose and detached from surrounding tissue. There is another side to the story of occlusion that is important to people who have already lost some of their teeth. That is, the teeth tend to support each other, so a missing tooth represents a weak point in the dental arch. Look what trouble even one missing tooth, which is not replaced, can cause to an otherwise perfect mouth. Because of the missing lower molar, the upper molar moves down in its socket, allowing the teeth next to it to shift out of position. At the same time, the teeth on either side of the missing molar drift out of position. This drifting may cause considerable damage to the dental arch. Tipping of the teeth creates points of uneven pressure and areas where food becomes impacted, which may lead to additional dental disease. The bony ridge alongside the tipped teeth is being destroyed, and periodontal disease, pyorrhea, forms. You can see why it is mandatory to have your dentist replace missing teeth. While replacements can never be as good as natural teeth, they do provide vital chewing surfaces, greatly improve appearance, and help to prevent the loss of remaining teeth. Regular and professional care is the most important step toward good dental health. But you yourself must take the next step by providing your own defense against tooth decay and gum disease. Home care for your teeth begins with your diet. Like this girl, you would be wise to refuse treats between meals. By cutting down your consumption of sugar and starches, you can reduce the formation of decay acids in the mouth. Cleaning the teeth is especially important. For best protection from decay acids, brush your teeth immediately after eating because, and this may surprise you, decay begins within minutes after you eat. Proper toothbrushing several times a day helps sweep away acid-producing food particles that lodge between the teeth, and it also helps to maintain the health of your gums. Your dentist will recommend the toothbrushing method that is best for you. Here is one method that is acceptable for most mouth conditions. Remember, teeth should be brushed in the direction in which they grow, toward the biting surfaces. This method cleans the teeth more effectively. Place the side of the brush against the gums, then rotate the bristles toward the biting surfaces of the teeth so that they brush over the gums and the teeth with a sweeping motion. Repeat this stroke at least 10 times in each area, and be sure to brush inside surfaces too. And then brush all chewing surfaces. For additional cleaning between the teeth, your dentist may recommend the use of dental floss. This is the way it should be used. Cut off approximately 18 inches of floss. Twist the ends of the floss around the first finger of each hand. Let the thumbs guide the floss gently between the teeth. Too much pressure may snap the floss harshly against the gums. At any rate, whether or not you use dental floss, the next time you brush your teeth, time yourself. Few people can do the job properly in less than 2 minutes. Don't be a 10 or 20-second toothbrusher. The toothpaste you use is important too for many reasons. Besides helping to make brushing pleasant, a good toothpaste helps to clean and polish your teeth. And because toothpaste is used by just about everybody, it is an ideal way to extend greater decay prevention to the home. Dental scientists have devoted years of study to developing a toothpaste which gives added protection against tooth decay. Their efforts have been successful. Dental authorities have recognized the effectiveness of one toothpaste as an aid in reducing decay. Proof of the effectiveness of any toothpaste is established by clinical testing, using a method in which average families brush normally at home. Your dentist is familiar with the results of clinical research on toothpaste. He will be happy to tell you about the toothpaste which has been recognized effective by dental authorities and explain how it can help you reduce decay. Well, we have given you a picture of how to achieve good dental health. Now the rest is up to you. So remember these steps. First, cut down on the production of decay acids by being careful about the foods you eat. Second, brush your teeth after every meal. Third, use a toothpaste proved effective against decay. And above all, get in the habit of regular visits to your dentist at least 2 or 3 times a year. Even though modern dentistry can do wonders to preserve and even restore the health and beauty of your teeth and appearance, a big part of the job is up to you. You have to help yourself to a smile.
Hello, everybody. Let me move over. Hey, how goes it? I'm Skip Elsheimer. Welcome to our AV Geeks Lunchtime streaming show. That last film was "Help Yourself to a Smile," and I gotta do a spell check here real quick. Oh, that's right. They spelled it right. All right, so that was Procter & Gamble that actually sponsored that. And it was made for, as you could see at the beginning, college-aged kids, adults, to get them to think about dental hygiene and stuff like that. So, let me see, where am I? I have too many windows open. So in case you don't know, I am Skip Elsheimer and I collect old 16mm educational films, and if I nudge over a little bit and up, you'll see that I have a telecine. God, this is annoying. Alright, right there. Telecine right there, which allows me to transfer films, to digitize them, and to broadcast them over the internet for your delight and horror. So I've been doing this for almost 30 years, showing films, and usually I bring a projector in the films, but during these pandemic times, since mid-March, we've been showing them live from my basement for the most part, and I brought the telecine here as a way to wow. I need a little bit more coffee. As a way to digitize films that I have not seen before. So I have a vast amount, probably 2,000 films that we have digitized of the 27,000 that we have. And I'm going through a lot of them. In fact, we just showed the 600th film on Friday, and we've been doing this this is more than 100 shows that we've done. So we've been ripping through a bunch of films, and I'm excited that you guys are here to join me. If you like what you see, please subscribe to us, and you can buy us coffee, because obviously I need it. So today is an exciting day. I get to sign up for another storage space, a 10 by 20, so that I can accommodate 12 pallets of 16mm film coming from St. Louis, from the company that owns all the Coronet films. So I'll be getting a lot of Coronet films to digitize, and your donations help for things like that. I thought I was going to have to buy a pallet jack, but I think I don't have to, so that's good to know. All right, so this next film we're going to watch is something I've already digitized, but it's so great I haven't had a chance to show it yet. There's so many films I haven't shown yet that I think you guys would really dig. This one's called When Grownups Should Stop Fighting, and it's made for, I think it's child development, but people who ultimately work with kids in daycare and kindergarten. And it's basically answers the question, hey, I see kids fighting. How much of that is part of the developmental process, and how much of that do I need to really go in and intervene? So it's an interesting film. So here we go.
Life in nursery school is usually peaceful. Like families, nursery schools try to reduce the occasions for conflicts and fights by providing ample equipment, by giving the children as much space and freedom as possible, and by setting clear and sensible limits. But fights and quarrels do occur as a natural part of the children's growth and learning. When such conflicts arise, they are rarely violent battles, but the feelings of the children who take part in these fleeting conflicts are just as strong as those of older children, and the teacher must decide what to do. Some conflicts are easy to decide about because the teachers feel sure that they must be stopped. For example, teachers do not permit the use of weapons which are physically dangerous, nor can they allow the group to gang up on a scapegoat. The victim is obviously unable to cope with such an overwhelming threat. They feel they must step in when a child has gone on a rampage, and the rest of the children need protection from repeated attacks. Stopping such a child may become a matter of emergency. He may have to be removed bodily. The repeated attacks may arouse the teacher's own emotions, but she tries to discipline him without rejecting him, and the grown-up must be the first to recover her emotional balance to help the child to a fresh start. Other fights and conflicts are easy to decide about because the teachers feel sure they can be left alone, with safety and even with profit to the children. They do not need to stop playful attacks which remain playful. Here, clay work develops into clay throwing, but most teachers would agree that these three boys are not upset or anxious. They are not bothering the other children in the room, and the boy who is the target for the pellets of clay obviously can take care of himself. But many conflicts are neither obviously dangerous nor obviously safe to leave alone. Teachers must make difficult judgments swiftly by sizing up what the situation means to each child. Following the introductory scenes now before you, you will be shown 4 episodes of this difficult kind where decisions are not easy to make. In deciding, should the teacher stop the fight, you will have one great advantage over the teacher on the spot. You will have time to consider some of the basic issues, the community's attitude towards violence, matters of educational philosophy, and the long-run optimum development of each child, basic issues which enter into every decision about stopping a quarrel. But the teacher has an advantage over you. She has previous intimate knowledge of each of the children involved. Without such knowledge, you may not be able to decide whether the teacher should stop each of the following fights or not. That is not important. What matters is your ability to size up the situation from the children's behavior and expressions and to consider what the teacher's intervention might mean. Here now are 4 episodes of life in nursery school which involve conflict. This 2-year-old leaves his tricycle to sit in the rocking boat. Another boy in the striped shirt seizes the bike. Now each boy has a claim. This doll carriage is too big for the tunnel. The little girl seems to feel she can force it through, while the boy tries to point out that it will not work. The discussion goes on in the direct manner of 3-year-olds. This boy has been making the sudden attacks all morning. Now he slips and falls as he throws a can which hits another boy in the back. Here's another bit of his morning's activities. Here he is again, second from the right. This threesome begins as a group sailing project, but the boys soon run into difficulty over who is captain and who is crew. This 2-year-old leaves his tricycle to sit in the rocking boat. Another boy in a striped shirt seizes the bike. Now each boy has a claim. This doll carriage is too big for the tunnel. The little girl seems to feel she can force it through, while the boy tries to point out that it will not work. The discussion goes on in the direct manner of 3-year-olds. This boy has been making these sudden attacks all morning. Now he slips and falls as he throws a can which hits another boy in the back. Here is another bit of his morning's activities. Here he is again, second from the right. This threesome begins as a group sailing project, but the boys soon run into difficulty over who is captain and who is crew.
So, I'm sorry, I missed the repeat segment. I remember this repeats itself, so you guys, the novelty of watching kids beat each other up in these different scenarios, I'm sure you don't want to see it again. And if you do, you can just rewind. You can just back up on the progress bar and whatever you're watching, and you can watch it again. Yeah. Amazing film, you know, you don't realize it, but it's like that's an issue, you know, when there is a part of the developmental process of, you know, interacting with other people. I had another film that I show called First Friends, which was a 70s version, and somebody noted in the comments that this seemed like this was an animal behavior documentary, which First Friends is very much like a, you know, you watch this behavior of these kids, and you see them act out, and you see the interaction of how they all, you know, in the herd, how they all interact in positive and in negative ways. So, really fascinating. I'm sure I have a lot more film footage of that, and I do. Some of it is not as dramatic as this. Like, I have this wonderful film about finger painting, but it's silent, and it's just kids finger painting, and you see this interaction of how they finger paint and what they do with the paints, and how, you know, it's about tactile stuff, it's about imagination, it's about all this stuff. There's one girl that is just, everything is black, and then she's covered, it's like she just dipped her hands in motor oil, and it's just, yeah. I would love to show that at some point. Maybe I will, and you'll just add your own music, because it is silent. All right, so this next film, we go back to the telecine, and this is Little Lost Burro. Enjoy.
It was the beginning of another hot summer day on the great desert. The mountain foothills and the rocky flatlands below were slowly warming beneath the sun's steady rays. The desert life was stirring. One by one, the animals were leaving their homes and hiding places to search for food. A little band of wild burros had been awake for several hours. They had spent the night together, huddled closely to protect themselves from the chill night wind. But now the sun was up, and they were all busy looking for desert plants to eat. Well, almost all of them. One little burro, Blanco, was still content with his mother's milk. Blanco's mother took good care of him. No matter what she was doing, she always wanted to know where he was. She made sure he didn't wander too far from her side. Blanco would have been happy to stay with his mother like this forever. But on this particular morning, his mother saw something that would change their lives. She knew that she and Blanco might be in danger. The riders hadn't seen them, so for the moment at least, they seemed safe. But suddenly, the riders were thundering past them, and then, without warning, they were coming right at them. There was nothing poor Blanco could do to help his mother. These men captured wild burros and then offered them for sale to prospectors. Burros are good pack animals. Prospectors use them to carry their equipment up into the mountains. Blanco's mother didn't want to go into the truck. She didn't want to leave Blanco. Blanco was sure he would never see his mother again. For the first time in his life, Blanco felt all alone. His mother was gone. Who was going to take care of him now? Who would protect him and feed him when he was hungry? Would the other burros? They didn't want to be bothered by another burro's baby. Because none of the burros wanted to take care of Blanco, it seemed that there was only one thing for him to do. He had to leave and try to find his mother. Days passed. Blanco was hot and very hungry, and what was worse, he was lost and without a friend. But what was this? A rabbit. She looked friendly to Blanco. So when the rabbit hopped away, Blanco tagged along behind her. Blanco followed the little rabbit all day and into the night. He followed her to a ghost town. She hopped on ahead of Blanco. Now, while Blanco had been following the rabbit, something else had been following them both. A hungry bobcat. The rabbit ran on. She seemed to know her way around the town. but it was all new and strange to Blanco. Now, as Blanco tried to catch up with his friend, the hungry bobcat was doing the same thing. When Blanco finally came into the town, he couldn't find his friend anywhere, but he did see what was after her. And then he saw the rabbit running for her life. The rabbit and the bobcat ran under the wall of an old wooden house. Just one board was holding it up. Blanco kicked at the board and the wall came down, trapping the bobcat. But the rabbit was safe. The rabbit ran and Blanco followed as fast as he could. And after the sun had risen on a hot new day, they were far away from the ghost town. When the rabbit stopped at a cool stream, Blanco was glad. He was tired and hot and very thirsty. The cool water tasted good. Blanco hadn't found his mother, but at least he thought he had found a friend. But then the rabbit saw something. Another rabbit. And the new friend he thought he had hopped away, and he was all alone again. Poor Blanco, still without his mother, again without a friend. Now, all alone, he wandered about on the desert. Days passed. He was so hungry. Sometimes he tried eating the desert plants, but he hadn't learned which ones were good to eat. He came upon all kinds of interesting creatures. Some were very dangerous. Poor lonely Blanco, how he missed his mother. Now he was sure he would never find her again. It was the beginning of another sad, lonely day for Blanco. And then he heard something. When he saw what it was, he couldn't believe his eyes. It was his mother, loaded down with an old prospector's equipment, heading for the mountains. The prospector could see that Blanco was his burro's baby, so he let Blanco tag along. At last, Blanco was where he wanted to be, with his mother. She would teach him everything he needed to know, and she would never, ever be taken away from him again.
I like how everybody responded to the ghosts. The ghost in the ghost town. Oh, ghosts! Yeah, so Mel Washkin, he shows up a lot. He's the creative director for Cornet at that time. And a lot of the films had this kind of mild supernatural element, or had something that was mildly provocative to get kids' interest. I mean, ideally, this is what this is it's telling a story. It's talking about a little bit about animals that live in the southwest part of the country, and about what animals do. So it's using this kind of interesting story to give information to kids about animals. But you know, there's definitely these little tiny touchstones that kids like will perk up and go, ooh, get interested in. And that's what you want. You want kids interested, even if you have to cheat a little bit. And honestly, if you look at the History Channel and the Science Channel and some of these other channels, Discovery Channel, it's all interesting stuff. It's not, let's talk about atomic, structures and about bonds. It's all about this interesting, provocative stuff. So, like Nazi science and are UFOs real and Shark Week. It's all about the interesting stuff. And they'll impart a little bit of knowledge in there, but it's all about clickbait, making it interesting enough for you to tune in. And that could ultimately be the downfall for things that are boring, that nobody wants to hear about, that are very important to science, medicine, politics, how government works. All the boring stuff nobody wants to talk about. They want to click on the conspiracy stuff and all that other stuff. Anyways, I will stop. Anyways, this next film, Roscoe Rules. This is a Sid Davis film, but it's kind of later. It's in the 70s, and it features this annoying toy that they somehow built an entire film around. But the script is almost exactly the same as all these other Sid Davis films, which deal with danger, stranger danger. So here's Roscoe's Rules.
These boys and girls are just like friends of ours. We're going to get to know some of them. Here's the best hopscotch player in the 2nd grade. Her name is Debbie. That's Jeff up on top. He really likes recess a lot. Brenda likes spelling best, but the teeter-totters are fun too. And there's Mike. He has fun no matter what he does. This is Miss Stewart, their teacher, and Officer Dan. He visits the school often, and all the boys and girls like him. Miss Stewart asks us if we remember the safety rules we've been learning about crossing the street. A lot of those rules have signs and signals to help us remember them, like the walk signal that tells us when it's safe to cross, and the lines painted on the street to show us where the crosswalks are. Well, today Officer Dan is going to tell us about 4 special safety rules that don't have any signals. They're so important that Officer Dan has brought along a special visitor who's going to help us remember these rules. And here he is. This little fellow is a friend of Smokey the Bear. Does anyone know who Smokey the Bear is? Sure, everybody does. He helps us to remember the safety rules about fire. Well, this is Roscoe, and he's going to help us remember our 4 special safety rules. The first special rule is
we always go straight home from school.
and we always go the way we've been taught to go. Our mothers know how long it should take us to walk home that way, and they'll worry if we're late. The second rule is,
we never get into a car without our parents' permission.
the driver might be a very bad driver.
We never take gifts from anyone without our parents' permission.
Not even a piece of candy. Our parents always know what's best for us.
We never walk or play in lonely places.
We might get lost or hurt, and no one would find us. And so these are Roscoe's 4 special rules. If we remember them, we'll always be safe. And we'll all see what a really good friend Roscoe can be. Later on, school is over for the day, and it's time for everybody to go home. Mike lives nearby, so he usually walks home. Hi, Mike. Come on and play with us.
We always go straight home from school.
Mike will go home and ask his mother if he can come back to play with his friends. Next morning, Jeff is on his way to school. He has to start early because it's a long walk. Want to ride to school? I'm going that way.
We never get into a car without our parents' permission.
It's always polite to say, no thank you. That afternoon, when school is out, Debbie walks home too. Hi there. Have some candy.
We never take gifts from anyone without our parents' permission.
Debbie also knows it's polite to say, no thank you. The park is a great place to play. And on Saturdays, Debbie, Jeff, Mike, and Brenda often play there together. Their favorite game is Follow the Leader, and it's lots of fun. They always play together in a group and never alone. And they know that the playground area is the best and safest place to play in the whole park. But today, Brenda's mother has told her to be home early, and it's time for her to leave. Say, I wonder if there's a shortcut down this way.
We never walk or play in lonely places.
I guess I'd better go the way I'm sure of. And so the next time Officer Dan visits the school, Roscoe comes with him again. He asks if we remembered the 4 special rules that Roscoe taught us. Mike remembered, didn't he? Come on and play with us.
We always go straight home from school.
I have to go home first. And Jeff remembered too. Want a ride to school?
We never get into a car without our parents' permission.
No, thank you. Debbie did exactly the right thing. Want some candy?
We never take gifts from anyone without our parents' permission.
No, thank you. And Brenda was smart, too. I wonder if there's a shortcut.
We never walk or play in lonely places.
I'd better go the way I know. So let's be sure that all of us always remember Roscoe's rules. Both Officer Dan and Roscoe want to help us to be safe because they're our friends.
Yes, Roscoe. That annoying bear. It's like Smokey Bear, but it's a little toy that's this tall. Again, it's about the gimmicks for the kids, man. Get them interested in that annoying little bear. And, don't get into somebody's car because you don't know how good of a driver they are. That's solid advice. Let's see what we got here. Yeah, I was going to throw up another film that I didn't know the title of. Oh, it's written on the side. Dirty Work. It's a Laurel and Hardy film, but it was very, very vinegared. So unfortunately, I'm not going to be able to show that one. It's very stinky. And so, sorry. This next film, I know the title, but I don't know what the film is about. It's called, well, it's written on the can, Driving Difference. And let me rewind it just a little bit to kind of get back. Just a little bit. This is what we do. Technology. All right. So I think this is called Driving Difference, but I don't know. We'll see. Enjoy.
What is this? Now, these bills are just about the same. Again. Well, the billing is probably wrong. Some computer errors or something.
Hey, you're talking, Dolph. What's the matter?
Oh, I'm okay. It's these gasoline bills. They're enough to make me talk to the walls.
Well, we both knew when I went into real estate that I'd be doing a lot of driving.
Yeah, I know that. But I drive half as much as you do, and our bills are just about the same. Again, look at that. You drive all over the county. I understand it. What do you have, some secret gasoline supplier?
No, actually, I get up in the middle of the night and siphon gas out of your car.
Oh, you're pretty funny this morning, Nan, but I'm about ready to believe anything.
You had your car tuned up, didn't you?
Yeah, the car's fine.
Well, hey, you want some breakfast?
No, thanks. I'll get something later.
Well, I don't think the computer made a mistake.
Well, something's wrong.
Bill, maybe it's the way you drive.
What?
You drive kind of jerky.
Oh, come on.
No, the way you start and stop the car, it's not smooth. They say that...
Who's they?
I don't know. It's something I read or heard somewhere. But if you accelerate too fast, you use up more gas.
Well, I can't make that much difference.
Well, we could get you a bicycle.
Now, you were really funny today.
Well, I try. Really, sweetheart, we've got to do something about these gas bills. Listen, how about if I take you to work?
Well, what if you have a late call? I don't want to be stuck waiting for you to show up.
Yeah, maybe so. Oh, hey, speaking of late, I've got to get going. I'm meeting that couple in Glenwood. I think they're going to take that house.
Oh, honey, that's terrific.
Yeah. Hey, did you get the lights upstairs?
Yeah. Well, we better get going, huh?
Turning down thermostats to save on the cost of heating. Turning off lights to save on electric bills. These are things we're all growing accustomed to. But what about saving on the amount of gas we use when we drive? True, there isn't any one knob to turn down or one switch to push. But there are a number of simple things you can do. The way you drive and the way you handle your car. Things that will save gas and make the driving difference. For example, the way you accelerate. It makes a big difference in how much gas you use. A jackrabbit start uses a lot more gas than easing into traffic. The same is true for braking. The essence of good gas mileage is continual even motion. If you come up to a car and put on your brakes and then have to re-accelerate, you'll use much more gas than if you simply take your foot off the accelerator, slow down gradually, and wait for the other car to get out of the way. By not tailgating and by anticipating the movement of traffic around you, you can avoid braking and complete re-acceleration altogether. Be aware of a red light several yards ahead. Slow down, and as it changes to green, bring your car smoothly and easily up to speed again. Saving gas doesn't involve anything very complicated. Just a few small adjustments here and there. But those adjustments can mean lower gas bills and can make the driving difference.
So you can take care of that all right? Yeah. Okay, let's see what else. Oh, now, I pre-surveyed your first job, and you're going to need a hand with it. So, Cindy, why don't you go with him before you start?
Okay.
I think that's about everything. Oh, and listen, everybody, don't forget, the kids are out of school for the next 10 days, so watch out. Okay? Get going. Oh, and don't forget plant sales.
Morning. How you doing? Hey, guys, there's a couple of vans idling in the lot out there.
What's the difference? Well, that's just because it's so cold out there.
You go a couple blocks and you warm up. The difference is you're wasting gas.
Okay, everybody, on your way. Have a good day.
Take care. Have a good day.
Hey, what do you want from them? They do their job. So what if some of the guys warm up their vans? They've been doing it for years. What difference can a couple of drops of gas make?
Multiplied by the 400 vans in this district, those little drops turn into big gallons pretty fast.
Listen, there are plenty of times when I let my own car idle.
Well, if you let your car idle for more than a minute, you're using more gas than it takes to start it.
Yeah, well, listen, why are you so excited about all this?
Well, since I'm responsible for all the vehicles in this district, I'm starting to hear plenty about that kind of waste. All the letters I get from the companies, memos from the boss. Hey, you with me?
Oh, yeah, I was just thinking.
Well, glad to hear that. What's the problem?
Well, you're not the first person today to talk to me about wasting gas. Nancy and I were talking just this morning about all the gas I've been using in my own car. In fact, I was going to ask you about it. I use as much gas as she does, and she drives a hell of a lot more.
See, it's all that idling.
Come on, Ron, I don't leave my car idling all day long, day in and day out.
Okay, so it's not only the idling. Maybe something's wrong with the car. Does it need a tune-up?
I don't see how. I had it tuned about 6 weeks ago.
So it's probably okay.
Hang on a minute. Bill Corbett? Yeah. And what's the trouble? Yeah, all right. Well, listen, where are you? Well, I got Ron here with me. I'll bring him along. Yeah, about 10 minutes. Yeah, I know you're not going anywhere. Okay, we'll see you then. It's Terry. His van conked out over near the park. I told him we'd come over. Do you have time? I mean, you know more about these vans than I do.
Sure.
Damn, I haven't got anywhere near that paperwork.
Listen, I've got this test car. Let's take it.
How come?
I've got something in it I want you to see.
Oh, all right.
One of the oil companies loaned it to us.
Hey, it really kind of cleared off, didn't it?
Well, wait a minute. It'll change.
Yeah. Oh, I got to get some gas in my car before they close the pumps.
Okay, I'll wait for you. Hey, you know, your tires look a little low.
Yeah, so?
That affects your mileage also. These tires can be inflated up to 32. That's where you should keep them if you want good mileage.
Yeah, okay, I'll put some air in them when we get back.
You don't sound especially convinced. Now, seriously, you're wasting a lot of gas if you're driving around with underinflated tires. Keeping them at maximum pressure is just about the easiest thing you can do to save gas. Does make a difference. Hey, don't do that.
Hey, now what?
You're topping off the gas tank.
I always do that.
But if you fill it way to the top, something's going to spill out. You gotta know that.
I can't worry about things like that. I got a lot of other things on my mind.
Like the big gas bills you were complaining about.
Okay, you got me.
I'll go get the car. Okay. Hey, what's this? That's what I want to show you. The computer.
A computer? What for?
It tells you how many miles you're getting per gallon at any given moment.
Oh, you mean the average miles per gallon?
No, I mean an instant readout.
What?
The miles you get per gallon of gas vary constantly, depending on how you're driving. This computer tells you how much and when. I'll show you.
What is this, a test drive?
Something like that. You'll see. Look, it's not working. 0 miles per gallon. You're using gas, but you're going nowhere.
Oh, I see. That's the point about not letting your car idle.
Now, as soon as I get around this corner, get a little acceleration, we'll see how this works.
12 miles per gallon.
That's about the average for this car around town. Now, if I accelerate all of a sudden, look what happens. Miles per gallon are practically cut in half.
6.8. I don't believe it.
Better believe it, Bill. This thing's pretty accurate.
Yeah, but you gotta put your foot on the gas pedal sometimes.
Yeah, but it's how you do it. It's when you really step on it that you see the big difference. There he is. Well, that's about all we can do here. Why don't you drive it back to the garage and we'll go over it.
Yeah, you can take Charlie's van. He's out sick today.
Hey, look at all this stuff you got in here.
I suppose I could clean it out, but you never know when you're going to need something.
Well, I'd rather they have too much in their vans and not enough to finish their jobs with.
Yeah, I know what you mean, but the more you lug around, the more energy it takes to run the van. More energy, more gas.
Now, you see, Ron's on this kick today.
All right, let's go back to the garage. You drive.
Okay, I'll see you later, Terry.
Yeah, thanks for coming out.
Okay.
One way to make the driving difference and save gas is to get together with co-workers or friends and form a private carpool. In most areas, some form of public mass transportation is available, and you should consider using it rather than driving your own car. Some companies are chartering buses that pick up their employees and drop them off at work. Other companies are making van pools available. Whatever the means of transportation, it makes a difference when more than one person travels for the same price.
Hey, Bill. Look at that. Did you forget you're being monitored?
7.3. Oh, yeah, I guess I did.
Well, the next time you have to accelerate, think about it, make it a little easier.
Right.
Hey, it does make a difference.
You Keep your speed even. You get good gas mileage.
Let's see what this gizmo does out on the highway. Nice, smooth acceleration into the traffic flow.
15.2. That's not bad on the highway.
Boy, these Sunday drivers. What happened?
Look at your speedometer. You're doing 65.
Well, 55's a little slow for me.
Well, you can see what 65 does to your gas tank.
That doesn't help it much, does it?
When you go faster, you're using that much more power just to push air. The bigger the vehicle, like the vans or trucks, the more air you gotta push.
I'm gonna try something. Switch on the air conditioner.
Okay? Look at that.
Oh boy, well I always knew that an air conditioner used more gas. Not that much more.
That's why the company buys cars without air conditioning. You know, we've got to get back. I've got plenty to do today.
Oh yeah, me too. I've got to go out and do some quality checks.
Most of the driving we do is necessary. But think about it. Perhaps a telephone call or a conference call can accomplish the same thing. Or why not delay a trip until there are several stops to make in the same area? When you are doing a lot of driving, plan it so that you can avoid extra miles. The miles you end up saving will make the driving difference.
Listen, you're going to be using this car the rest of the day.
You like the computer?
Yeah, it's kind of interesting.
All right, sure, take it. As long as I can drive yours.
You got it. Hi, darling.
Hey.
Just sell the house?
Well, it looks pretty good. We'll know more about it next week. Hey, you look like a different person. Things go well today?
Yeah, I had a pretty interesting day. What's this?
Oh, well, I got home a little early, so I started a roast.
Well, that's too bad. I thought we might go out to dinner tonight.
Out? I thought we shot the whole budget on your gas bill.
Now, that's all in the past. I learned a couple of things today.
So did I. I was talking with Carol down at the office about your using so much gas, and she said...
Oh, she did she?
Yeah. Like, if you go over 55, like you do on the highway, well, something about the car having to push back all this extra air, and that uses up more gas.
You don't say.
It's true.
I know.
You know?
Yeah. I spent a good part of the day with Ron Miller. You know, he's the vehicle manager for our area.
Oh, yeah, well, he should know a lot about that.
Oh, he does.
Well, like what?
Well, like the way you drive really does affect your gas mileage.
He proved that to you? What did he do? Hit you over the head?
Well, not exactly. You see, he's got this computer in his car.
Computer?
Yeah, he's test driving this car that has a computer that gives a constant readout of the miles per gallon as you drive. You know, it's really amazing how little things do make a big difference.
You drove the car?
Yeah. And you know the way I start up.
Oh, do I know?
Well, when I'd accelerate hard to start, the computer registered 7.3 miles per gallon.
7 miles to the gallon.
And the thing is, I found out I could improve the miles per gallon by driving gently.
So what's the plan? You going to get one of these computers for your car?
No, I got the point. I'm just going to have to watch the way I drive. And Nancy, maybe a couple of days a week, you can drop me off at work.
You got it.
You know, it's really amazing. You develop certain driving habits, certain things you don't even know you're doing. But now I know, and I can change them.
So now our gas bills will be lower.
Well, as far as I'm concerned, my little salad maker, these are a thing of the past.
I like that rockin' outro music. So, you know, when we first watched the film and it says the name of the title and then brought by AT&T, that's interesting. Why do they care about gas mileage? Well, because of that little tiny phrase in there, that little couple of sentences that said, well, maybe instead of driving everywhere, why don't you call them? Or why don't you have a conference call? That's the reason why, is like, AT&T would show this at offices and basically say, hey, we know that you're suffering with the cost of gas. You just don't have the budget for it. Why don't you use your phone? And why don't you use these new features that we offer with business phone lines and blah, blah, blah. So there you go. That was just a big ad for AT&T. A sponsored film is what we call it. All right. Thank you, Andy, for the coffee. You are welcome to buy me coffee here. And I will drink it. I won't drink it all at the same time, but I will drink it. Let's see. This film is weird enough. Let's go for it. This is Encyclopedia Britannica going crazy. Normally they were considered to be the boring of all the educational film companies. Although I would say that most of them have gone through a period of being boring, depending on the subject matter. But this one, something happened. Something happened. And this is Toes Tell. Enjoy. wow. I've shown that film many, many, many times, but it still packs a wallop. I think the toes on the cactus and walking on the piano, the rusted piano, and just walking around barefoot, just some people just can't tolerate that. It's too much. But I've always felt, I haven't really done the research to figure it out, but it seems like there's a couple of films that came out in this series that deal with feet and shoes, and I just wonder if there are, someone had a foot fetish. It's what we call the cameraman's gaze. The cameraman concentrates on things that he or she is sexually attracted to, and it might be feet for this person. There you go. Toes tell. Thanks again, everybody, for tuning in today. This is the part of the day I truly enjoy showing movies to people, and we'll be back tomorrow at 1 o'clock. I'm going to go and sign a contract for the 12 pallets that will show up maybe next week, which could potentially bring, I don't know, between 4. Well, the person who packed them said there's 11,000 items in there, but I don't know. I think it's closer to probably 4,000, but it will put us over the 30,000 film mark. So, onward and upward. But thanks again. Please tell your friends, share what we do with your friends and family and your enemies. And we'll be back again tomorrow. And take care, everybody.